time to do it. We'll get started in just a few minutes, okay? For everybody else, happy Hanukkah. So good to see you. Glad to share the time together.
He's a jumper.
Yeah.
He's a jumpy one.
Yeah, because you think everyone's special.
Yeah.
Like I said.
He's still looking at the food.
You saw him grab my laka.
Yeah.
He's excited.
I love how soft their skin is at this age. He's so sweet. What a beautiful temperament.
We're very lucky. Often.
And yeah, don't make him face you because he'll grab your earrings.
He's definitely at the age where he's becoming so aware of what's around, and novel experiences are really exciting. And he loves when Danny plays guitar. Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you, sir.
How you doing? How are you? Good yourself? Good to see you. Hello.
Hi
How
there.
you doing? Hi, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Hi, how you doing?
I might have been out of tune, Josh. Sorry about that.
Hello. Hey, Robin.
Oh, good memory. Are you kids looking up?
Thank you.
The music and I said, I can't take it.
We'll have fun.
When will-
I will tell you that personally, health-wise, family is very good. The world is a melting nightmare of food and glue. But that reminds me. Sad. That reminds me. Can I give you this job? Would you mind passing me that resume? Would you mind passing me that? Yeah, I think right now. We're gonna get started in just a minute, and that's kind of where we start. Thank you. You guys are so far back. You should come forward. You should sit closer together. Just my invitation. Take it or leave it. With apologies to those joining us on Zoom, I realize we are starting a little late. Tonight was brisket, so unfortunately there's no brisket over YouTube streaming live. You have to come in person for the brisket next time. We'll start singing like we always do. I know you can hear my voice very loud, but truly I'm not singing it only to hear myself. I'm singing to invite us all into song. So anytime you lose track of this melody, it always goes later to. Let's just try that refrain. Let's hear it. Isn't it a great one? Let's all sing together as we welcome Shabbat. Here it comes. You sound great. Page 128 in your prayer book. How good to be together. Hinei ma tov u'manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Page 128. Hinei ma tov u'manayim sheverachim gam yachad. 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 Let's hear your voices. sheverachim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And Chagurim Sameach, Happy Hanukkah. Some people have come in recently, others of you have already been well fed. Regardless of whether you just joined us or you were with us since the beginning of tonight, we're glad to be together to celebrate Shabbat. We always, will take a moment at the beginning of this service, which is truly such a service that's full of joy, to remember that our people are hurting right now, that there is still a horrible war going on that we hope can end immediately soon in our days, but while it doesn't, while the hostages still are not yet freed, we continue to think of them and pray for them. So I'm going to invite anybody who got a little slip of paper from, I think it was Walter who was passing them out. Can you please stand up? It has probably about 8 to 10 names on it. And I'm going to invite us to slowly, those of you who have one of those slips of paper, please read the names when I say so, and we'll combine all of those names of those hostages who are still not yet freed into one fervent prayer together in one place. Harry, thank you so much for closing that door. I appreciate it. There's a teaching that God spoke 2 words at once. It says in the Talmud, in Trei Kale, in 2 voices, God spoke. Shamor and Zachor, protect Shabbat, remember Shabbat, God spoke at once. And so think about this as a godly act of thinking of all of those. And as we hear those names fill this room, we also think of their loved ones who are missing them and need them at home. Let's read their names together now. Thank you all for reading their names and creating a moment of holy dedication to them on this night of dedication. I invite everybody else to please rise, and we're going to say the blessing for the captives together. It's on this page that you received, or if there is one near you, you can look on with somebody else. I might not have made enough copies. I'm sorry if I didn't. Oh, thank you, Sean. If anybody else wants one, Sean has more copies up front. I'll read it in Hebrew, and then we'll read it in English, and you can join me for either or both. Achenu kol beit Yisrael, hanatunim b'tzara u'v'shivya, ha'omdim bein bayam u'vein bayabasha, hamakom yirachem alehem, v'yotzi'em mitzara l'revacha, u'me'afela l'ora, u'meshe'abu l'geula, hashtab agala u'vizman kariv v'yimru. Amen. Together, our brothers and sisters, the whole house of Israel, who are in distress and captivity, who wander over sea and over land, may God have mercy on them and bring them from distress to comfort, from darkness to light, from slavery to redemption, now, swiftly, and soon, as together we say, Amen. You can all have a seat, friends. As we enter Kabbalat Shabbat, well, did you know that Kabbalat Shabbat is a part of our prayer book that is from Israel? Where in Hanukkah, which is a time we celebrate a victory and a miracle unique to Israel, very Israel-centered. The service of Kabbalat Shabbat is from the mystics of Tzfat in the north of Israel. It comes from the Middle Ages. Has anybody ever visited Tzfat? It's a unique and beautiful place. Oh, Lila's very excited about her Tzfat memory. I look forward to hearing that one afterwards. And so we've omitted the first part of the service, which is the very joyful part of the service, until those hostages come home, but we will end it with Lecha Dodi. Page 138, 139 in your prayer books. I guess I must be a father because I'm good at making kids really uncomfortable. This is my friend Sophie. Sophie didn't know she was going to be singing Lecha Dodi, and don't worry. Beautiful voice, and I know you get sick of hearing me sing, because I get sick of hearing me sing. I can only imagine how you feel. So feel free to come up to the microphone. And this Lecha Dodi has a call and a response, right? Sophie, do you remember this one? It's the one that goes, Lecha Dodi likrat kala. Okay, so when I sing, Lecha, you sing? Lecha. And when I sing Dodi, no. See, we're all learning it together, okay? So we sing Lecha. We're going to move it down a little because I feel like this would be really screechy in a female voice, all right? What if we sing it right up? Lecha, Lecha, Dodi, Dodi, Lecha, Dodi, Lecha, Dodi, likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha, Dodi, likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. And that's it. We'll start with verse 1, sing 1 through 3, 5, and 9, and then stand and face the entrance to welcome Shabbat in our midst. Ready? Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 1. Shamor v'zachor b'diborecha, Yishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad,
לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקרא. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקרא. Verse 3. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, ומצאים מתוך אביך, רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקרא. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקרא. Verse 5, התעוררי, 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 כי באורך ומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. Now you have to sing with either me or Sophie. You can choose. Here we go. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקרא. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקרא. Please rise. We face the entrance of our space. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהולה, רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקרא. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקרא. Let's bring all our ruach now, one more time. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקרא. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקרא. Thanks, Sophie. Mark, don't smirk so much because you're next, buddy. Everyone, we can have a seat. We turn to page 142. Shalom Aleichem. Thanks for your patience, man. F minor. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch. Boachem L'Shalom, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch. Barchuni, bless me with peace. Barchuni L'Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch. צאתכם לשלום, צאתכם לשלום, מלכי שלום, מלכי מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. How about some mandolin? Everybody, יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ועמד יברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשם לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו. Please rise if it's comfortable, page 146. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Page 149, we read together. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 150. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael. Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu lima'aleta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu v'shochenu v'chumeinu nasiach lechutecha נשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו, לאורך ימינו, ובהם נגד יומם ללילה, יומם ולילה. מאהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. Page 152, Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Le'olam Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. We can have a seat, page 154. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך בשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. This section of the service is called Birkat Geula. It's the prayer for redemption. It's the prayer of liberation. It's our freedom song. And very famously connected to the story of the Maccabees by the rabbis for good reason, because really the story of Hanukkah is the story of an independence war. It's a story of religious freedom, of a regime that wanted to take it away and succeeded in taking it away, and then how the Hasmonean kingdom fought back, and Judah Maccabee and his family took it back for the Jewish people. It's a remarkable story, and it's of course the first story of Jewish independence since and until 1948. So, I've been reflecting a lot about freedom this week, and especially about religious freedom, as I'm sure all of us have. And I don't know about you, but I started watching the 3.5-hour C-SPAN recording of the hearing before Congress for the 3 university presidents this week. Have any of you been watching that too? Yeah. The presidents of Harvard and UPenn and MIT came before the House, what was it called? The Education and, can't remember the other word in the name of that committee, but they came in front of that committee to face some important and tough questions about the state of anti-Semitism on college campuses, which, as we all know, is really a horror right now in a lot of places. And it really has made me reflect a lot on my story, my family's story, because my grandfather got through, on that side of history, got through a Jewish quota to get into college. He got through the Columbia University quota in it would have been the early 1940s, and he got his degree there. And it makes me incredibly sad to reflect on, in the distance between his lifetime and my son's lifetime, that academic opportunity has gone from this to everything in this country for Jewish people, and now it seems to be winnowing back down because these college campuses, so many of them, are in the grip of a hate that is excused in the name of freedom of speech. And if you, who among us could disagree with the importance of free expression and the constitutional idea that the government should not limit speech or free expression and that these universities follow? But if you watch the testimony, you see pretty quickly that the speech that is free is selective in many of these places. And selective in that the types of things that are excused tend to be on one side of the political aisle and not the other. One set of truths and dogmas that don't make room for others. And when that kind of extremism, have you ever heard you can be so open-minded that your brains fall out? I think that's what's going on in a lot of places right now. When that kind of extremism takes hold, it's frequently Jews who lose, and Jews who lose first. But as you all know, the story doesn't end with us. It never ends with us. It's always a story of who are the first to sort of lose that right, who are the first to be victims. None of which, of course, is to excuse violence and hate that Muslims or Palestinians or Arab students from different backgrounds are also experiencing on campus. The anti-Semitism, though, the stories out there are voracious, and are vicious. And I am glad to hear from so many of our college students that they have not personally always encountered that. I don't want them to personally encounter that. There are a lot of stories of helpers and defenders and protectors, as well as the stories that we're hearing from, for instance, the student who went out and had to confront chants of globalize the Intifada, which is, a not very thinly veiled threat for the destruction of the Jewish people. These three university presidents each received questions that were getting to the limits of what kind of speech is and isn't acceptable, in addition to pointing out the hypocrisies of their policies, which I do not have to do for you. And a couple of times they were asked very pointedly, is calling for the genocide of the Jewish people allowable speech? Is calling for the annihilation of Jews acceptable and protected speech? And each of them in their own way hedged. Each of them in their own way said that it would be context dependent. If threats to annihilate an entire people are context dependent, then it doesn't take so many more steps to get down a horrible road that our people has been down far, far, far too many times in the past. And God willing, that will not be our fate, that will not be the outcome of this moment. These types of things happen in way more horrible and dramatic ways when there is violence and there is a war in Israel as there is now. But after this war is over, after the anti-Semitism that has gone up 400% in the past 2 months goes down to normal levels, where it's only continuing to rise in a measured way year over year, then I don't think we can forget what we're seeing today. I don't want any of us to forget it, because we actually have a choice. We have a choice where to send our kids to school, or where our young people choose to go to school. We have a choice when it comes to support and philanthropy about whom to support and whom not to support. And whom to vote for. That's true. That's absolutely true. Thank you for saying that. So I think that it's worthy of remembering that in the conversation about safe spaces, which has been such a flashpoint before any of this violence happened about who gets to feel safe. So much of the safe spaces are really about comfort. They're not about safety. They're about not wanting to encounter painful ideas. I will tell you something. I don't know any Jewish person on a university who is not able to withstand the idea of criticizing the Israeli government. In fact, they hear me do it all the time, and I encourage them to do it because the Israeli government deserves criticism, okay? We're not so thin-skinned that we cannot abide by reasonable criticism in a conflict where there is blame to share, okay? But what I cannot abide is my young people going off to university, our children, and not just not feeling comfortable, but truly not being safe. And when the world doesn't recognize that, we have a problem. I'm very grateful that the US Congress seems to recognize it, that the White House seems to recognize it, that a lot of decision makers seem to recognize it. But I hope that we'll remember after this war is over the role that we can have in shaping the discourse around the university, because so many of us are there and we have a voice. I'm looking at Stu, who sends me emails all the time from Yale, and I know that he's not the one to always get in the midst of all of that fray, nor would I expect that of you. But there will be a point for some of us where we have a choice to make, and I think that paying attention to this moment is really instructive for how we'll make those choices. So, our freedom, Micha Mocha, makes me want to sing out to Micha Mocha all the more so, right? Page 158, page 158, we're going to sing a Hanukkah melody. I asked the students from the religious school to find the hidden Hanukkah hint within this prayer. Does anybody know what it is? Where's the hidden Hanukkah hero? Lila and Ben, you remember I asked the religious school last week, right? What's that? You just haven't figured it out yet? All right. Well, if you figure it out before the end of the service, let me know. If not, we'll take a look together, and then you'll have a leg up on the competition on Sunday. It's true, I have my thumb on the scale, but I'm allowed to put my thumb on the scale for religious school students to come to services.
Ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha, nedar v'kodesh, norat Elon, osef eleh, norat Elon, osef eleh, norat Elon, osef eleh, malechutecha ra'u banecha, bo'okei hayam, lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Zeli anu ve'amenu, Adonai yimoch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimoch le'olam va'ed. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Page 160.
160. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ushmor tzedkeinu uvoenu l'chaim u'shalom me'ata ve'adonai. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Apores Sukkot Shalom Aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Page 164. When you're ready, please rise for the Amidah. Adonai. Yadadai svatai tiftach. Adonai ufi yagid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai. Ananana svatai tiftach. Ananana ufi yagid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai. Ananana svatai tiftach. Ananana ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avod ve'Imaot, U'mevii geula livnei v'neihem, Lema'an shemo be'ahava, Melech ozer u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Michayei hakol atah rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid agashem, Michalkel chayim bechesed, Michayei hakol berachamim rabim, Tzomech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umikayei memunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech meimit u'mechayeh, u'matzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh, v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. We continue with Tefillah Balachash with silent prayer through page 180. Please take the time you need for your own private prayer and have a seat when you're ready, but not before. You probably haven't heard this one. It's a good opportunity to learn something new. With something old, you'll see. It goes like this. Oh, say shalom, bimromav yaseh aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. It starts really high. Oh, say shalom, bimromav yaseh. You got it. Here's the blue note. Aleinu. Try. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Ve'imru amen. It sounds a little mysterious. There's a reason. It's because it goes with Hoseh shalom bimromav yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Hoseh shalom bimromav yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. All right, so I want you to choose the first part or the second part, and then I'm going to sing the third part. All right, so let's practice it the way you're going to do it once, and then we're going to do it to repeat again. Here we go. Either first or second. So, Hoseh shalom or Hoseh shalom. Here we go. Hoseh shalom. ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Okay, keep going on the part you started with. Oseh shalom bimrohu ya'aseh shalom. That's okay. Aleinu ve'al kol. This is why I need a cantor. Yisrael. I can't do everything. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromavu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromavu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. We'll keep working on that. Pause for a moment to pray for those in need of healing. Misha Berath. We think of our temple members at this time: April D'Amato, Norma Diamond, Josh Lipschitz, Mark Warner, Larry Pepper, Alan Myers, Joan Shapiro Green, Bonnie Stoddard, Judy Selikoff, Myra Josephson, David Rim, and Stacy Reed, along with our loved ones, Connie Ambrosino, Michelle Rusinko, Louise Kaplan, Phyllis Barenhouse, Mickey Bart, Jay Fliss, Joanne Crisulo, Lindy Garmisa, Mark Ostreicher, Matthew Pincus, Sydney Scher, and Bart Young, Soraya Casey, John Van Steenbergen, Keith Siegel, Arlene Weiler, Greg Rydelek, Vivian Hands, Paul Frisman, Bruce Petroff, Ben Peck, Martha and Mark Potter, Bob Hessen, Tim Maurer, Beth Zagoria, Barbara Tolkien, Jarvis Crumbine, Edison Goff, Christine Priori, Larry Wasserman, Adrian Wasserman, Marcia Wasserman, Melissa Mihalko, Ira Weiss, Margaret Levitano, Joan Katz, Deanna Rosenberg-Garabo, and Stephen Asnes. There are others we'd like to add to our prayers. Feel free to say their names aloud for our community to hear or to hold them in your heart. Either way is fine.
Luann Tolioli and Peter David.
Luann Tolioli and Peter David.
Laura Turtledove.
Laura Turtledove.
Jerry Greenberg.
Jerry Greenberg.
Bill Pellerin.
Bill Pellerin.
And Susan Rom.
Susan Rom. Yes, please. Shelley Kozlov. Please.
Jane Gertler and Kevin Kelly.
Jane Gertler and Kevin Kelly. Nadine Wood. Please. Thank you, yes, for all of the Israeli soldiers and hostages and their families who are in need of wholeness, where everything feels broken. We, of course, continue to hold them all in our hearts. Under the prayer for those in captivity, which we prayed earlier in the service, you'll see the words to Misha Berach, which we will pray together now. As we hold all of them in our hearts, who are always in our hearts. And be sure to tell them that we're praying for them. Even that can mean something to people. Misha Berach Avoteinu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Misha Berach Imoteinu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer. our prayer. Hear our prayer. Hear our prayer. And bless us at love. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Mishaberach Avoteinu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov. Mishaberach Eloheinu Sarah Rivka Leah v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Well, it's always very meaningful to me, as it is, I'm sure, to all of us, when somebody has a moving and meaningful Jewish experience that they would like to share with the community. And so Karen Rabinovich told me that she had opportunity to go down to Washington, D.C. For the rally a few weeks ago. And I know that actually she's not the only one from TBT. I see Ira, who's right behind her, who I know is also there. I don't know if you saw each other amidst 300,000 of your fellow friends. But certainly it was a remarkable gathering, and I hope a remarkable light in the dark. And Karen, you said that you'd like to share a little bit about your experience. And so would you please come and share?
I think standing is okay. Hi everyone, my name is Karen Rabinovich. Shabbat Shalom, Chanukah Sameach. So I was really fortunate to have the opportunity to go to the march in DC, which was already almost a month ago, which feels like an eternity, and so many things have already happened since then. We've had a ceasefire, some hostages have been released. We had the hearing, like Rabbi said, also the UN hearing on sexual violence. So, it already seems like the march, so many things have happened since then. So we heard about the march happening in DC, and my sister and I knew that we wanted to go. She has 4 kids, I have 2 kids, so it took a lot of logistics to make it happen, but we decided to do it. We found out that the Jewish Federation of Greater Fairfield was chartering buses to the DC, as many federations across the country and also in Canada did. And we signed up for the one in Fairfield that left from Westport, from a synagogue in Westport. So we arrived in Westport at the synagogue at 5 a.m. on that morning, and we had our coolers packed and our sandwiches made and everything that we needed for the whole day in order to go to the march. And we're standing outside the synagogue. It was pretty cold. It was early in the morning, and we're waiting and waiting. We were supposed to leave at 5:15. We got there at 5, and time kept passing, and the buses were not arriving. And after an hour, we were told to wait inside the synagogue. And that's when, there was a little more waiting inside, and then the CEO of the Federation announced to us that our buses were not coming. This was before we knew what happened on that day, that numerous federations were sabotaged in an act of anti-Semitism to prevent marchgoers from going. And we were one of those, unfortunately. So this was 230 people waiting to go. So we were told that, and by the way, since then, the ADL has taken on this matter along with other federations across the country and in Canada, and we're still waiting to see what the results of that investigation are. So we were told if we wanted to go to the march, we would have to drive there. And my sister and I looked at each other, and we knew we were just going to do it, because we had already made the plans, and it was too important to let anti-Semitism stand in our way. So we were joined by my niece's Hebrew school teacher, who had kind of just joined the two of us. And we started driving to DC. And my March experience, I can really break it down into two categories. The first was the journey there, which I'm describing now, and the second was the actual march. But the journey there was as big a part of my experience as the march itself, because there was this blatant act of anti-Semitism that we faced, and because we still wanted to go and we were going to do what it took to make it happen, but also how we actually got there. So we started driving, and the first, we were really exhausted. We went to bed late. We both had been woken up by our kids a few times in the night, and we were counting on sleeping on the bus on the way to DC. So the task of driving 6 hours was really daunting. We planned on switching on and off so that we could relax and rest in between. But as we were driving, my sister was driving, I started texting other people who I knew were going to the march as well, thinking that maybe we could join forces with either a bus that was going or someone who had a van, and that we wouldn't have to drive the full 6 hours on our own. As I'm sure many of us have experienced since October 7, I've become a part of various Israel groups on social media and on WhatsApp, which are just a great forum to share experiences and feelings and news. And in one of those groups, I remembered that there was a rabbi who I don't know, and he doesn't know me, but he had mentioned that he had extra spots in his van. And I didn't pay attention to the message because I had my ride on the chartered bus. But somewhere in my head, I remembered I had gotten this text, and so just on a whim, I called him, and this was about an hour into the journey. So I called him, and like I said, he doesn't know me, I don't know him, and I said to him, "Hi, Rabbi, I'm in this group with you. I saw that you have some spots. We're almost in New Jersey. Just wondering if we can join you, if you still have space." And he didn't even question me. He just said, "Yes, we're 5 exits ahead of you. Meet us at this rest stop. We'll be there in 15 minutes. We'll see you soon." And for me, this was just the quintessential Jewish experience. He's an Orthodox rabbi. I'm a Reformed Jew. He didn't ask me any questions. The goal was just to help a fellow Jew out, to come together for a greater cause, which was to attend this march. And just to be so enfolded by someone who owes me nothing, doesn't know me, doesn't have any reason to trust me, but took us in, just like that, without any questions. So sure enough, it was all a very funny experience in the end. We met him at this random rest stop. There were actually a bunch of vans with Orthodox Jews praying, so could have been any one of them. But we managed to find them. And also just that visual of all these vans surrounded by Orthodox Jews praying at a random rest stop in New Jersey. They happened to have 3 spots. We were 3 people. It was really a miracle. So we joined their van, and it was a mix of Chabadniks and not Chabadniks, men, women. The youngest people there were 12. It was the rabbi's daughter and some of her friends. And then we just became part of their group. And when you go through something like that together, you bond. And it was truly like we had a shared experience together. The rabbi was Rabbi Mendy Hecht of the Orchard Street Shul, which maybe some of you know. And then the journey there, like I said, it was just a true bonding experience where we all talked about our collective Jewish experience, our individual Jewish experience, what we had experienced since before October 7, where we came from before October 7. And even though we were all different kinds of people from all different kinds of walks of life, we really came together during that journey. So then we got into DC, and we'd been told not to drive right into the city, but these rabbis knew exactly where to go, and we parked right in the heart of the city, and we were able to walk to the march, actually, which was great, because we were a little nervous about, taking the train, the subway, and just how to get there. And it was just such a relief to have been able to go with them, because we were really apprehensive about driving there alone. It's a really long drive. We were 3 women alone. We didn't know what kind of counter people we would meet once we were there. So we got there in one piece, and then we went to the march, and we had to walk about 20 minutes to get there. And at first, we weren't really ready to take out our Israel flags, and because we didn't see any fellow supporters, and you feel a little apprehensive because we've all been seeing what's happening around the country. And then slowly, as we got closer, we started to see fellow supporters, and I can't tell you the feeling in my heart to see the crowd grow and the people coming together, and suddenly you see one or two people with an Israel flag, and then suddenly everyone has an Israel flag. And it was just, in a time period that has been so dark and where I and many Jews have just felt so alone, it was amazing to come together and feel this solidarity and know that we are in fact not alone. And we're not, we don't have the numbers necessarily, but we had the ability to come together on that day and make a really strong showing for Jews worldwide and for Israel. And for Israelis who are living through this every day, and for the hostages, many of whom are unfortunately still there. So we got to the actual march, and like any event with a ton of people, it was just very busy, a little chaotic, but it was very well organized. And we really, all the speakers were so amazing. We also, when you're at an event like this, you make friends with everyone around you, and we chatted with everyone. Where are you from? Where are you from? We learned various people's stories. I did not see Ira, but I saw the picture, and I really appreciated his sign saying, "I'm a Reformed Jew and I stand with Israel," because I think the whole point is that whatever Judaism looks like on each of us, we can still come together. And that's not to say there isn't division and disagreement, and it's not to say Israel is a perfect country, but we are one people, we are one tribe, and when it counts, we do come together as we should. So the politicians at the march, their words were really powerful, and it was it was important that they said what they said, and we felt the support, but I personally take what politicians say with a grain of salt, even though it was important to hear those words. But for me, the most powerful part of the march was to hear the families of the hostages speak. In particular, Hirsch Goldberg, Poland's mom, maybe you've seen her speech online, and she's also been speaking in numerous other outlets. But her son is still in Gaza. His arm was blown off, unknown if he's alive or not. There's a terrible video of him being kidnapped. And her words were just unbelievable to hear. A mother, with the greatest sorrow a mother can have in her heart, and yet standing up there and speaking so strongly and advocating to doing everything she can for her baby. So that was really moving. And then I think for me, the other part that was really moving was both of the national anthems. So the Maccabees sang the Star Spangled Banner. And if you haven't seen the performance, I would encourage you to look it up on YouTube. But for me in particular, I'm an immigrant to this country. My parents are immigrants, and we just have such an appreciation and love for this country, and same with Israel. It's not a perfect country. It has its divisions, but at the end of the day, it's the best country, and I feel blessed every single day to call myself an American and to live in America, and to see the unity between Israel and America during this devastating time, and hearing the Star Spangled Banner, it was one of the most emotional moments of the march for me. And then, of course, Tikvah, which was sang by Omer Adam, an Israeli pop star. Also, that Tikvah always brings tears to my eyes in any situation, and the words ring true always, and especially now. And just to hear both of those songs side by side was really just so moving. So that was really our experience, and it was just the feeling of solidarity, of not being alone, of coming together and being part of this historic march. I'm so glad I went. I'm glad that my kids do know I went, but they're very young to understand it. But I hope when they're older they understand that I went, and I hope they learn about it at school, that there was this historic march. And so after that, we made our way back to the van, and in another kind of Jewish experience, one of the people in our van, a high school student, actually, who's 16, his grandfather was also at the march, but he was not able to find his bus to get home. So we kind of same the way we kind of were able to hop into this van with this crew. He just joined us. We were a very motley crew at this point. And he joined us, and he was a Jew from Ukraine who fled in the 90s due to the rampant anti-Semitism. And again, that's a story that's just as relevant today as it has ever been. And just to hear his experience, and to remember that we all have these different walks of life. I think now, for me personally, I've always been taught that anti-Semitism is there lurking just beneath the surface, but I never experienced it the way I've seen it and experienced it now, which has truly been and I've also never felt an existential threat in the way other people have, in the way my dad has when he fought in the Yom Kippur War. And so to feel it today has just been a mind-blowing and unbelievable experience. And I think to all be together in solidarity on that day was incredible. And I want to point out that at this march, like I said, there was a real unity of America and Israel. There were American flags everywhere. No one was hiding behind a mask. There was no vandalism. Nobody got hurt. The police were not attacked. In fact, the police said, numerous police officers afterwards said that they had never been thanked so much by people for doing their job. And there were no genocidal chants or slogans or signs. And it was really just about peace, love, and bringing the hostages home. So that was really my experience. It was something I'll remember for the rest of my life. And like I said, the journey there was, for me, as meaningful as the march itself. And I'm just truly glad and honored that I was able to have the privilege to go. So, Am Yisrael Chai. That's it.
Thank you, Karen, both for your story and for the passion with which you share it, which clearly is evident to all of us, that you have that deep beating heart where Judaism lives deep inside, where love of Israel is there. That reminds me, as I was hearing you speak, of the traditional Hanukkah song, Mi Yimalel Gvurot Yisrael. Mi Yimalel Gvurot Yisrael. Di, 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 di. Well, it means who can recount the mighty deeds of Israel? Who can tell of the heroic stories? And you just did. You told one of our stories, and it's perfect for Hanukkah. So thank you for sharing of yourself. We really appreciate that. I will say that I didn't have the opportunity to be there, and I was feeling a little bit ambivalent about it in advance, but I felt really sad when I heard just how amazing it was. And I'm so glad that so many of our colleagues and friends showed up to be there together. It seems like a really special thing. And God willing, we shouldn't have to do it too many more times. Friends, we now conclude our service with Aleinu L'Shabeach, page 586. Please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'teit gedula le'otzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'goralenu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu koreim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, Lifnei Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, page 591. V'ne'emar V'haya Adonai L'melech al kol haaretz Vayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad U'shemo Ushemo Echad. Please be seated, everybody. Our thoughts turn now to those who have departed this earth, to our own loved ones, to those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, to the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked. Of course, our hearts are heavy, deeply heavy for all those Jewish lives lost in this horrible war, those who have been murdered, those who have been taken hostage and executed, those who have suffered and lost their lives, all those who are innocent, regardless of what side of the border. The heart feels the loss heavily. For these do I weep. For these do I weep. We think of also our family members and friends who have passed away recently, whether in recent days in the period of Shivar Shloshim or at this season in years gone by. If you're here to say Kaddish for Shiva or Shloshim or for Yartzeit, I invite you, when I read the name of your loved one, please feel free to rise if you're comfortable doing so and stay standing. Tonight we remember Marvin Goldberg, father of Phil and Karen Goldberg. And Karen, I see you and your parents here tonight, and we offer you our condolences in your time of loss. In the period of Yartzeit, we remember Bill Brody, Joseph Kors, Marcia Coppell, Eva Chakis, Helen Davis, Seymour Friedman, Frederick Kessler, Rose Friedman Schwartz, Elaine August Richmond, Ephraim Brower, Anna Steinberg, Ruth Schaffer, Seymour Friedman, Deborah Love, and Pearl Bass. I invite us to please rise in solidarity with our mourners as we say Kaddish, to remember and honor their lives and to praise God. Page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah. Ve'amad divrach l'rutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehi shemei rabbah mevorach le'alam u'le'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam naseh. V'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the one who creates shalom bring shalom to us, into our world which so desperately needs it, and to the hearts of all who are bereaved this evening as together we say, Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'yimeru. Amen. Please have a seat, everybody. Andrea San Marco is here to greet us on behalf of our board.
Shabbat Shalom. A warm welcome to all guests here with us tonight. My name is Andrea San Marco, and I am the board secretary. I'm not a board secretary, I'm the board secretary. No, I'm board secretary, but I'm not a board secretary, I'm the board secretary.
So I just want you all to know that Andrea San Marco is from Staten Island. True or false?
Join us for a special Hanukkah Torah study. Join us tomorrow for a special Hanukkah Torah study at 9 a.m., led by Rabbi Moss. The Zoom link is in your inbox. December continues to be an exciting month for TBT. Kol Ami will be hosting giveaway ceremony with potluck and Rosh Kadesh this Sunday. Please contact Lauren Sturman if you want to attend. It's actually really fun. I highly recommend anyone who can go, you should do that. It's nice. Join us on Zoom on December 14th, 2 p.m. for an update from Israel with Rabbi Moss's teacher, Israel American Rabbi Rich Kirshen. The link is in your inbox. Young Family Shabbat for children's ages 0 to 5 and their families is next Friday, December 15th at 5 p.m. RSVP info is in your email. On December 20th, we will be hosting a family movie night in the social hall. We will be showing An American Tale. Fievel Goes West at 5:30 with pizza and refreshments. Check the shofar for more information. The print needs to just be a little bigger for me.
I always print it out.
I'm literally I'm struggling with my eyes.
She also got off a plane from Spain, 3 hours ago?
Like 12. Don't forget to cast your vote for the amended TBT bylaws. The link is in your email, and the deadline to do so is on Sunday. Next week, we look forward to celebrating with the Calvert family as Brett becomes bat mitzvah. Mazel tov, Brett, and Shabbat shalom.
All right. Who remembers Peter, Paul, and Mary? Okay. Peter Yarrow, there's a great Jewish musician, a friend of Israel, a friend of the Jewish people. And they wrote a beautiful song about the Maccabees and about justice and how the light will prevail even when you have just a little flicker, right? This is the Torah of Hanukkah. Think about the first night. That's the miracle, right? The miracle of Hanukkah. Did the oil really last for 8 days? I don't know. I wasn't there to see it. But think about how much of a miracle it was that when that temple was just destroyed and there was pig blood on the altar and Jews had lost their lives and it was the most dangerous time to be alive, they decided still in the face of all of that death, destruction, and evil to just light it anyway. They just lit it anyway. And they said, light one candle. Don't let the light go out, right? This is on page 671. Do you all know this song? Light one candle for the Maccabee children, with thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. But light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering the pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle, let anger not tear us apart, and light one candle to bind us together with peace as the song in our heart. Don't let the light go out, it lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Let's try it together, the chorus. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, shine through our love and our tears. What is the memory that's valued so highly that we keep alive in that flame? What's the commitment to those who have died when we cry that they've not died in vain? We have come this far, always believing that justice will somehow prevail. This is the burden, and this is the promise, and this is why we will not fail. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out, don't let the light go out. You know how it ends. Don't let the light go out. Thank you very much, Walter and Josh. Thank you to all of you for your voices and for bringing such warmth and Hamish joy to a beautiful holiday in a dark time. Please be the light in the dark. Go forth. Have a beautiful weekend. And happy Hanukkah. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years, so many years. Don't let the light go out. Don't let the light go out. Don't let the light go out.
I don't really know which time you're talking
See you guys here. Okay, bye.
This Gentile makes a mean brisket.
C-SPAN. I knew there was another one out there.
When you raised your hand, I was like, somebody else. I actually texted my friend who's been in government for a while. And I'm like, I watched like 2 hours of C-SPAN today. I had some sort of work or something. I didn't even fall asleep. I'm sorry, I haven't watched it. Sorry, you haven't watched it. It's actually fairly riveting.
It's really the same pattern over and over, which usually
And there was too many like gotchas and like some of the same stuff. But I mean,
well, that's what it is. If you watch enough of it, you see.
I can imagine that it's sort of like it's always been. Well, anyway, welcome.
It's nice to meet you.
Welcome to the community. I think it's pretty better than because I got Beth Tikvah. No, I sent you a paper letter. Oh, you did? Yes, but if you're not in your email, you need to make sure you submit it. So, call the office. Call the office. Make sure we're around. There can also be some people with disabilities. Okay. So are you coming out Sunday? And sometimes you want to get a cup of coffee.
It does. No, that sounds great. I live in Glaston.